Just talk reactions. Let's get it.
He'd skip and do little things. And he came over to the window and he was looking at something out the window, and the sun was coming in the window. And I got down on my hands and knees, and he was trying to say something to me. I was like, "What do you see, honey? What do you, I thought it was a bug or in the window or something, a bug," or he's pointing. And I got right down there with him. His eyes were black. His eyes were black. Black. And I was like, that's not normal. Like for a minute, they turned black.
Elon
and I remember
Musk,
that fear
his
in your
nanny,
soul and your
babysitter.
bones. So I remember that, and I've never told anybody that happened.
Wow.
Then
And it's funny, we've been seeing, the acting pedotus with black eyes and stuff like that, like the pupils looking black. People
Right.
are starting to catch on to these things. The eyes are the windows to the soul.
And they weren't always black, but they were black when they should have not been black. The sun was coming in the window.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first clue. So now I did, I asked Jesus in my heart when I was 5 years old once. A babysitter led me in a little prayer. But, but I didn't even know the word blasphemy, but I could feel something going on sometimes with them. Like I was already afraid. My aunt told me, don't piss them off, please them, do anything they say.
You just said something really interesting, which brings a whole new light, and I use that word advisedly, to this story.
Well, guys, I was in YouTube land today, and I strolled across a video that I was dreaded to see. Elon Musk Illuminati. This supposedly was his nanny or babysitter. Let her tell it, maybe slash slave. She knew his mom. Her mom was a sex trafficker, apparently working for the Illuminati. And she was his babysitter. And she's seen his eyes turn black. You know what I mean? Is this guy Elon Musk, is he really a good guy, or is he the ultimate villain? Let's talk about it today. Let's just talk. CJ, you in there? What you got to say about it?
Man, like I said, I saw that video. That video was very concerning of me. If this guy has been doing this type of thing since.
Go ahead, go on back in, CJ. We got a little noise in the Russian. Bam, bam, bam. Come on.
All right, my bad.
Run it back.
But yeah, I think it's, really crazy that is coming out now with all the things he's got in motion going, these automated cars driving themselves. He's putting robots in your house. That's eerily of the movie I, Robot. He wants to implant chips in people's brains, and we know your brain controls every sensory in your whole body. So why would you give somebody access to physically control you from your own mind? But these things have been predicted since biblical days that it was coming, and I think we finally, as a race of humans, have reached that point where we're looking for like that God particle almost, but we want to make stuff in our image. That's why they're making these robots humanoids instead of like RD2 from Star Wars. He was a robot that rolled around, but they want to make it similar to the golden one, the guy that could walk, talk, and everything else. That's a little too much. We're reaching too far, and it's like we want to become the next God, trying to make something in our own image. I really don't. I'm not really into that, as far as having robots in my house or cars that drive me around, because it'll come to a point where they're like, if martial law ever comes about in where we're living in the US, all those automated things like that would detain you to your house. You can't go outside. You can't go outside, putting up barriers for you, man. So I don't think people have really thought down the road about how this could kind of backfire on us. If we have forgotten, we may want to go back to the late 80s and 90s and revisit Terminator 2, and those type of movies, because once something becomes sentient, it's going to want the same thing that you want. They want to have a life. They want to have freedoms. They want to, and if the humans are in the way, they're going to try to eliminate anything that could possibly shut them down or take over their CPUs and things like that. But I know you've also seen the movie where Umbrella, but it was more about the virus, but it's the computer that's controlling that whole movie. If you remember the movie is Tap In, if you remember what I'm talking about,
What's the
Skinny, they
name? What's
made
the name of the movie? You gotta tell me more than that. What's the Umbrella?
it.
Umbrella. It sounds familiar. What's the
They
name of
made
it?
a video game out of it where it was a police officer and a woman. Me and you used to play it back in the day, but
Yeah.
it's not Resident Evil. Yes, it is Resident Evil. That's it. You
Oh,
remember?
the Umbrella Corporation.
Yes, the Umbrella Corporation was ran by that robot. You remember?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
once these entities get online and they are self-aware about themselves, it's going to be very hard to shut them down. This is what I'm trying to tell the viewers, that it will not be good for us as a human race, because they're going to look at us like, oh, they make too much noise. Look how they're polluting the planet. They're using up all the resources, all these things, and then they will be like, hey, go back to the Marvel movie where they had Age of Ultron, and you will see what their ultimate goal will be, and it will be not stop until
Hold
it's.
on, CJ. You just talk. Come on, bring it back. You breaking up.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Come on, keep on going. We live.
Yeah. So once, what I'm saying, that these robots get to that point where they know and they're self-aware, they'll become just like Ultron from the Marvel movies. So I want every viewer to go back and visit that, because they have to put it in your face before it comes true. We've already watched the movie I, Robot. We've watched Terminator. We've already watched this Age of Ultron. If that if that sentient being, that robot, becomes self-aware, just know it's not going to be in well for the humans. We'll be fighting, you know what I'm saying, a unstoppable machine, because I can transfer my consciousness to the next computer, the next router, or the next power line, and then I'm still alive. So that's the scary part about dealing with all these robots and things like that. They may can help in
But
a
look,
certain
this is the question.
facet where,
But
like
look,
maybe an assembly line or something like that, to keep people from getting their arms and fingers and toes cut off. But I don't see it as far as driving me around. I don't see it as far as, working on my house. I want a more interpersonal relationship with people like that. I don't want a robot doing it. I don't want a robot assessing me. Don't you hate when you get called like a number and they put you on the automated line? If you want to talk to this person, text
look at
one.
them. Look at
If you
them.
want to do this, press two. People hate that. So do you want our whole life to be dictated in that same manner? I don't. Now, you have what I'm saying, you have a choice. We need to stop this and stop it from advancing any further, because as you see, these phones, these other devices, me and you could have a conversation. Skinny, I need a generator, man. My lights keep going out, this, that, and the third. As soon as I get off the phone with you, why are there ads popping up when I'm scrolling on social media about the same thing me and you talked about? They're already
Right,
gathering all
right.
our information. They're already trying to figure us out. Siri is trying to figure us out. Bixby on the Samsung devices. They got so many artificial intelligence. They got Facebook has that Meta AI. You were referring to me about CPT chat the other day. That's like the new going thing. So, we're going to reach a point to where those things, they're going to be doing them, but at the same time, they're trying to get more like you. That's why these robots, it's a video out there about Kim Kardashian and how evil these robots can be. So I want y'all to go look at the Kardashian, and then this other guy who's be on a lot of videos telling you about the origins of Christmas and holidays and things. He has one, and the robot, he was like, man, get out of here. I'm trying to take a shower. And the robot would not leave. He almost had to threaten the robot. So just imagine, once this robot gets to full autonomy, that robot is going to either kill you or you're going to have to destroy it. So
let
that's
me
the
read you
point it's
back in
going to
a little
come to.
bit though, CJ. Let me read you back in a little, CJ. Now the name of this topic is Elon and the Illuminati. Now, do you think Elon is ushering in this whole Luciferian agenda?
I do.
Or you know me, I let me go and give him a little quick spiel. I used to work for Elon, as Tesla, full disclosure, whatever. And so, I'm a full believer of Elon, man. I'm a full enthusiast. Man, this is new to me that I've seen that this lady came out and said he's Illuminati Prince. I mean, where do we go from here? And then after that, I'll go ahead and play the next little video clip about him opening up a portal, summoning spirits and stuff.
Yeah, go and drop that for the viewers so they can, see what we're working with and why he doesn't need this full autonomy, as far as ushering in these chips, these robots, and these automated cars.
All
Those
right,
are
let me go. Let me go and drop it. Let me see. I gotta make sure it's the right
He'd
one. Hold on.
skip and do little things. And he came over to the window and he was looking at something out the window, and the sun was coming in the
Oh,
window.
that's the wrong one. This
Kid. And normally I would never let anything happen to a child that was watching. I would run between them and a pit bull. And I said, the way she said it, I said, why? And she goes, he's going to rule the world someday. And I'm like, what? Him? What do you mean? Why? And she said, don't you know nothing? They're the Illuminati. She would always do that to me. But she'd say, don't let nothing happen to him. He's going to rule the world someday. And I was like, that kid? So I grabbed his little arm and I got sucked in. I got sucked into, it's like we went up and then we went down. And it was dark in there, but it was glowing. And I can only tell you that when I remember my peripheral vision, because I was afraid to look at it, because when you're a little kid and you look at the cartoons and there's a bad boogeyman in the Scooby-Doo and you see its glowing eyes, it's like, don't look at its eyes, he'll get you. And I remember that whole, if you don't look at their eyes, they can't get you. And I was being sucked in and sucked down, and I had his little arm. And it was weird because there was no bottom. And there were these creatures in there. And they were giant and they were semi-shaped like humans. They were glorious. They weren't like Smeagol's or any creepy little demon dudes. They were like beautiful, ancient creatures that moved in a different time. And they were giant. And they had a different head. There was a bird head and a cat head and a jackal head. And I would compare them, because I'm not super educated, to Egyptian type of things, to the types of things May had, little artifacts of. I'm not from that region.
Yeah, there you have it, man.
that's
So what you think,
very,
man?
very, very telling of an indication. He reminds me of, when she's speaking of him, it's an old movie that came out in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, The Omen. He reminds me of The Omen. You'll have to just go back and revisit those movies. I can't fully explain all of them right now because, our time limits. But I want the viewers to go out and rewatch those movies, and then they'll see the similarities in between Mr. Elon and the fictitious character I was talking about. But he definitely is not on the side of humans. He is not here for us. He is here to probably help decrease the population. And like I told you, once these sentient beings come online, it's not going to be any stopping it.
Well, let me ask you this, man. What you tell all the Trump supporters that voted in this new inauguration, new assimilation or whatever you call it, a new presidency, man? We got the Avengers out here. We got Elon. We got JFK. I mean, what do we say to the people, man? We thinking these people is gonna come help us. Is Elon Illuminati Prince, or is he a good guy for humanity? He's trying to go to Mars. He got Starlink. What's the final say so? Just talk.
Yeah, man. Like I said, yesterday he just did a missile launch or the space shuttle launch for SpaceX, and President Trump was there in support because I believe they're going to be teaming up with the Space Force as far as the new military branch that President Trump formed the last time he was in office. So I do believe that is something that they'll be working on in the future. And by Elon being over SpaceX, they're going to be probably working hand in hand. I don't know what made them now at this juncture in society why they want to privatize, trying to get to these other places, moon or whatever. That was always government ran by NASA and things like that because they have the right to put out information, or they can keep the public blind in a sense. So I don't know if that's going to be in the best interest of security as far as letting a private person run the Space Force or contributed to it, because like I know there is corruption at all levels.
Man, I know exactly about that, man. That's why we're thinking on this new administration. We thinking that we can, get some people to come in and clear up all this thing, man. And that's a good thing that we need to know. Is Elon Musk really for the people, or is he ushering in the chip? Is he ushering in the takeover of the world? I guess we just have to find out. We have to wait and see. But shit, with that being said, man, we're gonna go ahead and sign out, man. We're gonna give peace out to our subscribers. We're trying to on a mission to get 500 subscribers. Go ahead and monetize this thing. CJ, you got anything to go ahead and take us out?
And I want to thank all the viewers for tuning in tonight. Thank you for your time. We just had a short, brief show tonight just to get y'all's thoughts, get y'all thinking, because this is something that's going to here. It's now. But I want y'all to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Yeah, this is Just Talk Reactions. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to the rest of the hosts. MJ, CJ, AJ, everybody. Spider, you know what I'm talking about? Professor, you know what I'm talking about? Ziggy, everybody, we in this thing. You know what I'm talking about? We coming in. Let's get it, baby. Just Talk.